my name is Gray. I'm the dietitian and health coach with MLK Health Center and Pharmacy. For this video, I'm going to be talking about mindful eating. So I want to start it off with a little exercise. You can pause the video if you need to, but I want you to think or try to remember what you ate yesterday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you're having some trouble remembering what those 3 meals were, you're not alone. And one of the reasons that it's so difficult for us to remember what we had yesterday for those 3 meals is because oftentimes we're not really checked in or paying attention whenever we're eating our meals. We always have something else going on. We sit down with a meal and we're watching TV, or we're on our phones, or we're doing stuff around the house and we're just sort of grabbing bites of food whenever we can, or we're checking emails, or we're working while we're eating lunch. Whatever it might be, very rarely do we just sit and actually focus on the meal in front of us. So what we're essentially doing is the opposite of mindful eating, which is mindless eating. We're just sort of, it's secondhand. It's an afterthought, I guess, is a better word to explain that. So why does this matter? Why is it important? Why should we be paying more attention at our meals? The first thing is that if we're eating mindlessly, one of the problems is that we're not listening to our body and its cues. Our body is usually pretty good at trying to signal us when we're hungry, when we're full, when we need to go get something to eat, when we need to stop eating. But if you're not really paying attention to that, it may lead to skipping meals or going way overboard whenever you do decide to eat. So you end up overeating. A little segue here is that another issue that mindless eating can cause is obesity. Because we're not listening to those hunger cues, we may end up overeating because we sit down at a meal and then we get to looking at our phones, we're scrolling on Facebook or whatever it might be, and just end up eating more than our body actually wants because we're not paying attention. Another concern is that it doesn't really give our bodies time to prepare for that meal. So another way to think about this is, I guess something that's a little more relatable is, let's think about a professional athlete. A football player, let's say. You wouldn't take this football player cold, right out of the locker room and put him on the field and say, all right, play at full capacity. He's not ready for that. The body needs time to warm up, get ready, get the muscles stretched out, tendons loosened, all those things, so that way he's prepared to play at full capacity. Our digestive system is kind of the same way. It needs a little time to sort of get warmed up. So usually this happens if we're cooking a meal, if there's sort of a lead up to actually eating food. And then if we're really paying attention to what we're eating, we're smelling, we're looking, we're tasting, mindful eating can help with that. But with mindless eating, usually what we're doing is we're in a hurry, we gotta go, we only have 30 minutes for lunch, we're just picking something up, we're throwing it down in the car. And so there's really not time for that digestive system to warm up, to get the juices flowing, which is gonna impact our digestion. So there are things that we can do to help move us in the direction of mindful eating. You don't have to do all these at once, but trying to start practicing some of these things, at least individually, can help. So a first thing is going to be when you get a plate of food in front of you, just take 30 seconds or a minute to just appreciate the food. If you start thinking about it, normally we don't do this. We just kind of dig right in. So taking a moment to just, appreciate the people that made it, maybe just acknowledge the colors on the plate, the smells, textures, whatever it might be, just taking a minute to appreciate that plate of food. Something else that you can do is not multitask. So put the phones down, turn the TV off. Maybe even if you're with another person, don't chat for the first few minutes of your meal. Just having a few minutes to just focus on the food, which is going to be surprisingly difficult because we live in a world where we constantly need to have 3 or 4 things going on at once. So this can be a real challenge, but again, can help really pay attention and help you hear those cues, body signals, and appreciate your food a little more, and help your digestive system warm up a bit. Something else that you can do is chew. Just chew your food fully. This can be anywhere from 20 to 40 chews. So this is another one that's simple, but surprisingly challenging. And I know I'm guilty of this. I had rice the other night with a meal, and I started paying attention, and I was like, am I even chewing? I think this is maybe getting 2 or 3 chews, and then it's down the hatch. So I'm not great at this either, but really trying to fully chew your food. It helps us appreciate it a bit more, but it's also going to help with your digestion as well. Something else that you can do is pay attention to how you feel after a meal. Again, we're usually checked out, we're not paying attention, we're just throwing down the food and getting on with our lives. But if you do tune in a little more, you may realize that eating certain foods doesn't make you feel great. I like to splurge and have a lemonade every once in a while. It's kind of my sweet treat. But I've found that if I pay attention, a few hours later, I always feel really sluggish and sort of lethargic just from kind of that big sugar dump. So if we pay attention to some of those after effects, we may start to realize what foods are beneficial for us and what foods are not. All right, I hope this was helpful. Please try to implement some of these mindful eating tips. Your body will thank you. If you are interested in other nutrition or wellness videos, please check out our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.